As a short-term trader, I'm always looking for an edge in the marketplace, and I want to talk to you a little bit about trend lines and how they can help you with your trading from a charting point of view. Of course, we're going to be using trend lines on a chart, support and resistance areas. So let's take a little look at this crude oil chart here on a 4-hour time frame. We don't want to look at the at the moment, we're not interested in the tracks, the pro trading system tracks and the dots and the reds and greens, because beautiful trades. In fact, cracking oil trading here again today with the tracks and PTS. Very nice move indeed. But I want to show you some of the things that you might not quite be looking at. Now, when we draw an external trend line, that means we go from the outer sides of the trends. So I could start from one reference point here and I can drag it all the way to an outside area, because for me these areas here, let's get the right tool, if I can get the right tool to draw these areas here, they're outside of the trend. It's all inside. The trend is all inside here. So that's an external trend line for me. Then I'd go and get another one. That would be an external trend line for me. Okay, an external trend line. So I can see here, well, what a top that was, by the way. So that's an external trend line. Let's just do that one again. Now, trend lines, of course, need 2 reference points. Let me show you that one again. I'm going to use a yellow line here. If I take it from this reference point high here back in August, take it above, I call it the rooftops, take it to that reference point here. So now I've got 2 reference points. I've got a starting point and a matching up point here, and it's projected then into the future. Look at that reversal, guys. $94, and this market drops nicely indeed. Nice red PTS, nice red tracks, drop it down very nicely. So those external trend lines are really important for everyone. However, a lot of people miss out on the internal ones. What that means is I'm going to go through the trend. I'm going to cut through the trend. So I'm going to start at one reference point and just practice this. Start with a reference point here and then just go through. Okay, so I've gone here, and I've gone through the actual candlesticks and it's projected into the future. I'm going to start another one here. I'm going to go through, okay, right here. So I've cut through. I've not gone to the outside. I've cut through here. And you can see, let's delete this one. I've started here, I've gone through, this to this support area here, and it's projected into the future. Well, actually there was a major support area. We also had our pro hot zones here at 89.27. It bounced right off of that area right in there. So internal trend lines are very helpful. You can see one here. I've gone through 1, 2, cut through the candlestick, comes down into these trend line areas here through the candlesticks. All right, so an external one would be something like this. An internal one would be something like just from here into here like this. Okay, now a lot of people will say, well, my charts look really messy, and when you've drawn enough trend lines and looked at support and resistance, yes, they are messy. They become really messy. So what I like to do, once I've deleted, or what I do, I delete and start again. The thing is, I'm only interested in this current price area here. I'm not interested in this area here, i.e. I'm not interested in fading that area up here because the price is here. So I'm only interested in this current price. So I'd look, and I would look, and we're not far away from here. I'd draw internals, one here. Look at that internal one there. Okay, so I've gone inside one here, inside those candlesticks to another reference point, and that was the big area right here as a reversal. So that's trend line hot zones, and then we've got our other hot zones, which are the numbers here, which come up automatically. And you can see if we go right, this is a major hot zone. So we have an internal trend line and a support area which became resistance. So have a practice, guys. Delete them once you finish with it, and then start again and practice again. It is boring, but it makes money. It's a great way of seeing where you're coming into areas where you could bounce. So in the coming days, as oil if it progresses down into this area, I've got that internal trend line. And as a day trader, it will probably bounce off that and push higher. And I can make some money from that area. All right. So what I'll do is I'll use a PTS buy in here to bounce it off this area here. Now, trend lines that go back years, for me, are much more powerful than ones that are on a 1 hour time frame. But, you know, if you look at a trend line here, projected into the future, it's going to take years, maybe months to get down to that area there. So keep your eye on these big ones, these weekly monthlies, because they come into play and they sneak up on people quite often. When, if you're looking at a 5-minute time frame, that's a monthly chart. If you're looking at this 5-minute time frame, buyers and sells, you don't know that there's a massive monthly trend line here. And what happens then is you're buying into this area here, which you shouldn't do. You should be buying here on the PTS and tracks. And you're right in a major resistance area. Okay, so what I suggest, especially if you're trading off smaller time frames, get out to those bigger time frames, take a look, see what's setting up, because often you could be slamming right into major support, major resistance, and then you know exactly where you are in line with that trend. Okay, internal, external trend lines, take a look at them, guys. They are very helpful, and just take a little bit of time to draw, especially the trend lines. Support and resistance is automatic, but the trend lines are something I think is basic, page 1 of technical analysis, but really does give you the foundations to know where you are, or if you're coming into a major support and resistance area. Hope it helps. Speak to you soon.